Okay. Yes. Once again, you are all welcome to academic writing and publication. And today is our second section of the class. And I'm so happy to see all of you on this platform. Uh, Last week, we looked at a broader picture of what academic writing is, and we'll be doing a quick recap of that. But before that, I want to ask, as I gave an assignment last week, sorry, on Tuesday, I keep saying last week, forgive me, on our last class meeting, that was on Tuesday. If I asked all of us to go out there to look for public paper, papers which have been already published, then we'll be able to find which kind of paper is it, whether it is a review paper, a research paper, or whether it is a research proposal. How many of us have been able to do that? If you have been able to do that, just let me know in the chat box. And have you been able to distinguish between them? Apart from those who are joining us for the first time, yes, how many of us were able to look for papers, look for publications, and try to distinguish between them? I hope I'm not talking to myself. Please, if you can hear me, let me know in the chat box because now I'm getting scared now. I'm just talking to myself. Please respond to me if you can hear me. Oh, yes. Okay. 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 Yes. So I was asking, how many of us have been able to go out there to look for a publication and be able to find the difference between this kind of papers? To say, okay, this is a research article, this is a review, this is a proposal. First time joining, okay, yes, you're welcome. Okay, if none, I strongly believe that. I don't know if it is a Mr. or Miss. How many request that you mute your mic and Miss JT, and rename yourself to as well. Okay, thank you so much. We are going to have a quick recap of what we did on Tuesday. Yes, this is a summary of what we did on Tuesday. Then we'll move straight into what we'll be doing today. So on Tuesday, this is what we looked at. We looked at the 3 pillars of academic writing. Miss Irene, Dr. Irene, yes, you can speak. I can hear you. You have raised your hand.
Please, would this be shared?
I'm sorry, no.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so a quick recap from this. We looked at the 3 pillars of academic writing, which we said one of them is a research article, which I've circled there. And the other one is what? Literature review. And the third one we look at is what? Research proposal. And we said this is how both of them, each of them look like. The focus, what does they focus on, each of them? If you are going to write academic research article, what should it focus on? So we said research articles are for new findings, original data. You use that it must focus on that. Then that of literature review, we said you grab that from existing literature. You must go into existing literature, those which have been published already. Then you synthesize them and find gaps or knowledge which there is a loophole in them, and you present them. And we said research proposal is something you plan to do in the future. So you are writing that I want to embark on this journey and this. So that is basically what we do. We looked at. And also we look at what tone should be used. What is it about? We also say it must, for research article, it must be objective. It must be natural or neutral, sorry, the word neutral, it should be neutral. There's no emotions or feelings attached to it. You must back everything you have with evidence. Your arguments must be backed with what? Evidence. And also for review, we said you must have it must be based on evaluation or critical analysis, which should be done on it before you can present. Then that of the research might be persuasive. It should be compelling. You must add emotions to it so that people will buy into your idea you have. I'll humbly request that anyone who has not muted their mic, they should mute it. Yes. Okay, thank you so much. Then we also have, we say, what is the primary goal? The goal of it is that to inform people or to share your idea with the scholarly community that this is what is there, this is what we have. And also the other one is to integrate and evaluate. The other one to also get that was the research proposal is to get approval of funding from a specific group of people or out there. Okay, now we are going to today's class, a very quick one. Today, what are we going to look at? We are going to focus on the structure. Yes, we said that in, come just a minute. Okay, one thing we said on Tuesday is that in academic writing, there is a structure you must follow. There's a convention which has been laid down that everyone who wants to communicate something to the scholar community, there is a pattern you must follow. So today we are going into details, the patterns. Yes, we introduced the patterns to you last week, but today we'll be going in each of them. And we said that pattern is called the IMRaD, which is I, M, R, and D. So basically today, that is what we are going to look at. We will take each of them, look into it, and see if we take I, what is found there. When we take M, what can be placed there. When we take R, what and what should I put there? When we take D, what should I put there? So today we are going to look at the structure. We are basically going to look at the structure. Yes, so we'll be moving straight into it. But I don't know if some of you have been able to look at them because I shared with you last week that this is the structure we must follow when we want to look at what academic writing. So first we'll understand what IMRaD is. Then we'll look at each section, introduction. If I'm writing introduction, or if I take my academic writing and I begin to write in the introduction section, what should I put there? What should I add? What should I remove? What shouldn't I add to that? And when we take the methodology, or methods, what should I put there? So today we'll discuss all these things. And I believe that before the class will end, each one of us on this platform will be able to write each structure or each section very well because we'll get a good understanding of it. Now we are moving straight into it, the first section, which is understanding what IMR is. Okay, so basically it is the standard blueprint. It is the standard blueprint. What does it mean? It means that this is what is placed there, the standard. It is the basic thing. If anyone wants to go into academic writing, he or she must understand this one. He must understand this structure. If you understand it, that means you'll be able to write whatever you have to communicate to the community or to the academia community. So you must understand it. It is very important. It is the standard. It is the standard. And it is the universal way of accepting communication from writers or researchers into the academic community. So it is the way or the way one wants to communicate, because we said academic writing is the form of communicating ideas or whatever you find out there and you want to communicate it to the scholarly community. So this is the way you must follow. This is the way you must present your ideas or your argument you have. So it is very important. It is the accepted or universal accepted structure. Yes, and this is basically used for kind of the scientific community and also in the social community. Yes, on Tuesday we made mention of it that you must also consider your field or the discipline in which you are in. So it is also very important. You must know this. But this standard is also accepted generally, but specifically those in the science and the social sciences, and is more acceptable. It's more recognized there. But for now, this is what we are going to look at, because I believe that all of us in this platform will fall under this category. Yes. And it's why should we even follow? Somebody will ask, why should I follow this structure? Or why should I even bother myself to go and follow this structure? One, it helps those who you are trying to communicate to, or your readers or your audience, to be able to go through whatever ideas you have to give them. Yes, it helps them to understand, or it creates a room for them to see that, oh, okay, this is what you are. It gives them that comfort to be able to read or have what you want to tell them. Yes, so it matters because it gives clarity. Anyone who picks your word can see what exactly you want to communicate if you follow this structure. And two, it gives room for people to be able to reproduce what you have done, so that it won't be like you are the only one who has done it and no one can do it again. In the academia or in the scholarly community, it is very important that anything you do should be able to be reproduced again. So if you follow this structure, it gives the room for that anyone who picks your paper can reproduce the same thing and arrive at the same result, even if not at the same, closer to it. The error margin shouldn't be damaged. And also, why it matters is also that it gives you credibility. Anyone who uses this structure, it gives you credibility. It means that you understand what you are doing. And also, it is very efficient. It makes you move very faster. Okay, now, anyone who has a question so far, before we move into the structure one by one, we'll be taking the introduction first. If you have any questions, you can let us know. Any question? Okay, no question, no question. If no one has a question, then we are moving into the first part of it, which is the introduction, which is the I. The I. Someone, if you can hear me, type introduction in the chat box. Introduction, 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 introduction. Yes, introduction. Yes. The class is active. All of you are very, you are there. You are there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, introduction. Yes, the introduction. What must be there in the introduction? I've put 3 things here which we must consider when we comes to the introduction of academic writing. There are 3 essential moves you must take when you are writing, when you are going to academic writing. The first one is to establish. Please, can my screen be seen? If you can see my screen, to let me know. The first thing you must do is to establish the territory, where you are coming from, which field, or why. You summarize the knowledge in your field. That's the first thing, the one I've highlighted. Yes. You must follow a way which you are writing so that anyone who picks your work can know that you are from here to here. In that order, it must follow an order. So in introduction, this is the order in which you must go. The first thing is to establish your territory, to establish the broader context. You must state the broader idea of it. I have some few papers I'll be sharing in the WeChat group, and we'll go into it one by one. We'll analyze them together and see if we can find all these things in the introduction. Yes, so you must establish, you must summarize the current knowledge, and you must establish your idea. So that's when the literature review comes in. Yes, someone is asking, this structure, is it for research paper only? Or, okay, so for the introduction, it's also good for that of a review paper. So when I'm writing a review paper to, basically you follow the introduction. But for research article, solely this, you must follow this structure. You must follow this structure. Or we will go to a review paper and also look at how you must go about it. But for now, our focus is on the research article. Yeah, so you must follow this structure. It is very important if you are writing a research article. It is very important to follow this structure. So the first thing is to establish the current knowledge found there. And that is when you do your literature review to understand. Okay, yeah. Some of us are not in the WeChat group. Oh my God. Yes, they'll help you join it soon. Yes, so you establish and summarize the current knowledge in the field. It is very important. So your first part of your introduction must be a summary of the knowledge which has been found in that field, which is the broader one. Then the next thing you must do after writing that part is to identify the gap. What is the problem that I'm working on? What is the gap? What has been the gap? Okay, I've established the knowledge which is there. They have done this in the field. But what is missing that I am now coming to work on? Now you establish that. That should be your second part when you're writing your introduction. After writing the summary of the knowledge or getting the review of what has been done, then now you establish the fact that this is missing. After all this has been done, there's something which is missing, which is the gap. Identify the gap and state it. That should be your second thing. You pinpoint what is missing. Very important. The second thing, you pinpoint what is missing. You pinpoint it. The second part of it is this. You must identify the gap. I'm sorry, I'm not able to use the whiteboard very well. You must pinpoint what is missing. You must state that there is something here. There's poor understanding. The existing literature does not cover this thing. It must be stated clearly so that anyone who picks it will know that this is what this person has done. There is something missing, and this is what he or she is coming to work on. Then the last thing is to occupy the niche. What it means is that you must now state your objective. That yes, this is missing. So everything must connect to each other. In your introduction, they must connect to one another. It's a progression. You don't state one here and leave and come. No, they must follow an order. They must connect to one another. So now you have stated the territory or stated the knowledge which is found in the field. You state what is missing. That you now state what you want to do to fill up that missing gap which is there. I don't know if someone understands me, but I strongly believe you get what I'm. You now state what you want to do. You clearly state what you want to do. Yes, you address the gap. Okay, now this is what I want to do in the introduction. So I've placed this here. I've put a small piece on your right hand. Oh, let me reduce it. Okay. Yes, if you can see that. Yes, I'm using the red. Yes, this one. So doing that, you are narrowing down the whole thing together. So the first thing is the broader content. The second is to fix in the gap you have identified. Then the next thing is your research, which is the last thing, occupy the niche. You will now fill in what you want to do, and it will now narrow down. So you start from the top, it's just like this. It's broad, then it comes down smaller. So broader, then it comes down smaller. Yes, that is how it is done. So your introduction must contain this. It must contain this. It must contain this. It must contain this. And I've stated something here, a key principle. Each move builds on the previous one, creating a logical argument for your research. So each one must be built on the other one. So if the knowledge is established, the whole broader knowledge is established. What is missing from that knowledge? You state it, so it should be connected. If they have work here, what is missing? Okay, in this aspect of their work, something is missing here. You don't say something is missing in economics, then you're not going to state something from, what do I say, from engineering. The two will not be connected, so they must be connected. If it is in economics, it still should be in the economics where the thing is missing and you are trying to fill in it. Yes, thank you so much. I want to move to the next slide where we will look at how to go about them. If I'm moving from the broader content to the gap and to this, what should I do? And some of them common mistakes that most people do. Yeah, I've seen a question in the chat box. I'll address it, so let's hold on. Okay. So opening strategy. That is the first move, establishing your territory. It is very important that, because that is what will draw the person's attention to say if you are going to. It says that state with significant, open with a statement about why your topic matters to the field or the society. So your first sentence, which you must start, must be statement that will be catchy. It must get the attention of people that if this thing is needed, I must read this. Yes, it must be open. It must be able to get the need or why it is important that this topic must be talked about or must be worked on. Yes, and you review and summarize all that has been done in that field. So you must review and summarize. So I made an example there in the first part, which is climate change poses one of the greatest threats to the global biodiversity. So that is a very catchy one. When someone picks this and you say, this is very important that you must read this paper, or this paper is needed to be it contains ideas which must contribute to the community. So it's very important. Then after getting that your catchy statement from the introduction, you now move on to summarize what has been done on this thing. You summarize. That is where you do the literature review. You now go into review the current knowledge which is there already. You now go into it and do that. Then the next thing is to define the key concept. Very important. What are they? Because one of the things you must also know is that you are communicating to a specific audience, but your people will not only, or your research will not only be with those specific audience. There are some people who may find it which they are not in your field, and they must understand some key terms you are using there. So you must define them. You must make them know that this is what this word means. When you say something, or this term, it means this. You must define them. Very important. Clarify important terms and theoretical frameworks that are needed or placed in your introduction. Let's take note of that. So what it includes is a broader context of the field, relevant review studies, theoretical framework, practical importance, key terminologies defined, and establish your knowledge. What are some common mistakes some people do when they are writing their introduction? They make it too broad. They never narrow it to find the missing thing inside. They generalize the whole thing, and which is so it's very difficult when you write something like that for a community to understand. So you must narrow it. Don't make it too broad. Don't be too broad. And some people, the second mistake some also do is that their reviews doesn't relate to what they are doing. So someone is working in engineering, but is bringing something all the way from, let's say, marketing, which may be, yes, sometimes you can find some common grounds in them, but the difference is so high, like it's far away. It's far away. It's not connecting to anything in that field which he's working or she is working on. So it's very important that when you are reviewing, your review should be something that is related. It should be related to the field, not out of content. And also some of them fail to explain why the topic is important when they are writing their introduction. They fail to do that. Yes, they don't explain why this is important. Why should this be there? They don't really explain it. In this first part, that first part you're writing, they don't do that. Okay, now let's go on to the next slide where we look at the next two moves or steps to take. Because we talk about the establishing the knowledge, then we talk about filling in the gap, then we also talk about what establishing what you want to do. So identifying the gap, very important. I'll put the 2 and the 3 together. Yes, for sure. You will see. We'll have an introduction. I will do that part. I'll share that. Okay, before I try to share that. Yes. Okay. Let me. I'll share that with you. But let me come to this now. So identifying the gap. After establishing what you know, you must pinpoint what is missing. I think I've said this over and over again. So I don't know. So the types of gap or how to make such statement is unemployed or what contradicting findings needing what solution. That's one example you can say, or methodological limitations in the past work. So these are some terms or some phrases you can put there before bringing in your gap or your missing field or what you are about to work on, what you have found in the other knowledge which have been placed there. So these are some of the statements you can put before bringing it there. So it gives signal. So signal or a little knowledge about this, or previous studies has not addressed, or there is a lack of research on this. So you make this statement in your introduction, then you now bring in your identified gap in it. Then occupying the niche is where we say that you now bring what you want to do. You fill in the gap. If we have found the gap, what do you have to do? So you now fill in your gap. You fill in what you want to do. Yes. So now you are giving promise to the people that, yes, I've seen this problem. I've seen this thing missing. and now I am going to do this to answer this question or to be able to address this which is missing here. So it's like you will now promise the people to tell them that, okay, this is done and this is what I'm going to fill. And also add to it, filling them up, you must also state how important it is to be able to, how will I say it? You will not state why it is important that you are going to do this, you are going to fill in this gap, yes. Why it is important, why it is important. So this is where your research question comes in, your research objective, the aim of the research, and also you give a brief summary of what method you are going to use to achieve this research you are embarking on. So in all, this is how your introduction must look like. Yes, Dr. Irene Koko, please, I'll be happy if you can share the WeChat group code in the chat box so that those who want to join can be able to join. I'm sharing.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
I'm sharing 2 documents with us in the WeChat group, which is solely for only introduction. And we'll take a look at them. There are 2 different ones. One is in the field of engineering, the other one is in the field of, let's say, education. So we'll look at them and we'll see. Okay. So if you are there, you can download it. And I'll also project here from here. But before that, do anyone has a question? Any question? Before we go into the practical section of it. I say, please, you may to reshare the document for those who will join later. Okay, no problem. Okay, no question so far. Okay, the QR code has been shared now. Those who are not in the group, you can scan the code and join the group. So anyone who is on WeChat now can share it. If they join the group, you can resend it again in the group for us so that they can have it. Okay. I don't know how I'll be able to make you see the whole screen, but basically, okay, so this article has been accepted by a journal already, which is going to be published very soon. So I'm sharing this with you. Yes, let me say that before, so that to be on record before we continue. Yes, so if we can see from the first part, from the first paragraph of the this paper or this introduction which I've projected. Can we see the screen?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. Thank you. So we can see that this first part of it the person has established the broader knowledge. It said the rapid advancement of a high frequency electronic has led to the increasing electromagnetic population. He's stating a broader thing to say that, yes, there's advancement in the world and there are a lot of things which are being done, but also being done, there is a problem. He has make a little to say that the electromagnetic pollution is still there. So if you can see from the first paragraph, I don't know if anyone there to read for us. If you can just open your mic.
The rapid advancement of high-frequency electronics has led to increasing electromagnetic pollution, now widely regarded as a major environmental concern alongside noise. air and water pollution. To mitigate these effects, there's a growing need for microwave absorbing materials that offer both high absorption efficiency and sufficient mechanical durability for practical applications. Conventional absorbers often face limitations such as narrow bandwidth, high density, poor impedance matching, or insufficient strength, making them unsuitable for modern demands. Thin, lightweight, robust, and broadband absorbers are required.
Thank you so much. So if you look at this from our PPT, you can see that the person has made a broader context. He has not stated anything that much, but he has made a broader context. He has stated what has been done or what is being talked about in that field. Yes, Dr. Irene is asking, as someone is asking of someone to, please, if someone can help us with that, those who are already in the group can resend the document I shared with you in WeChat group to them, those who just join now, so that they can also have access to the document. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, so in this first aspect of it, the person has made it broad. He has stated the broad knowledge. He has established the general research or a broader context of it. So I've put the comment here to say he has established the general research broad context. So broad, the person has stated that it has been done already. Very broad one. So if you are writing your paper or you are writing your research article, this part of your introduction must be like this. You must state the broader knowledge. Now it is broad. That's why it is big from the top and smaller to the bottom. So once you read down, you will see that, yes, it is big at the top, but as you are reading, you will now come to see that the person has narrowed it down to the smallest part or to where he or she is going to fill in the gap. Okay, now let's go on to the next thing we look at was what? What do we say after you establish the broader knowledge? What should you do? Someone can type that in the chat box so that I will know we are following. From the PPT, after establishing the broader context, what should you do? What should be the next move you must take? Identify the gap. Establishing the gap, identifying the gap. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, that was stated in the PPT that you must establish what the gap, or you must identify the gap. And doing that, you must do a review. You must review. We said in that you must review articles. You must do literature review to find what is missing in there. That is the next thing. So if someone can read the second paragraph too for us, the first person will read. I don't know.
Silicon-based ceramic. Okay. Silicon-based ceramic has recently gained attention as promising electromagnetic wave absorbers due to their tunable dielectric properties, excellent terminal stability, and ability to form protective surface oxide 6 to 9. At the same time, magnetic ceramics such as magnetic zinc ferrite have been integrated into composite systems to enhance magnetic loss and improve impedance matching. Carbon materials like natural flakes graphics contribute through electrical conductivity and internal reflection, although their use alone is often restricted by backliness and impedance rematch. Hybrid system that combines dielectric, magnetic, and conductive phrases have shown considerable promise in achieving what is that? I can't see the word.
Synergetic
improvement in absorption performance.
Yes, thank you so much, Doc, and all those who have read for us so far. So you can see that the person is now doing review. Okay, so I asked us to go and to be part of the reference class. Please, can you mute yourself? Okay, thank you. So I advise that we take the class which is reference management, because you can see you are seeing some numbers here: 6 to 9, 1 to 4. This is a style of references when it comes to the engineering aspect. So we'll look at the other aspects where you use. So this is one style of references. So if you are here, you want to write, you must know the styles of references. So go and take that course because it will be very helpful for you. Thank you so much. So these are the references or the literature review the person has done. He has cited them. If you can see from here, 6 to 9, 10 to 12. He has made research on the work to say these are the things which has been done. And if you read all the way to that of the third paragraph in this aspect, the person has been able to identify the gap which is missing, and is stating it there. With a review, now from the review, now you will now say that all this which have been done, there is something which is missing. There is something which is missing. So if you read very closely, I don't know if someone can read the third paragraph for us too. Or only from this part. Let me highlight this part. Only this part. Yes. The ones I've highlighted now. If someone can read that part for us.
Despite these advances, a significant challenge remains. Mechanical strength and electromagnetic performance are typically coupled, meaning that improving one often compromises the other. A straightforward and scalable method to independently tailor these properties in a single processing step has not yet been established.
Perfect. The person has identified a gap. Thank you for reading. You say, is it that all this has been done? He has stated from the broader knowledge, do the review, see what has been done. Even though all this has been done, there's still something which is missing, or there's still a challenge which must be fixed or be worked on. And who can identify the challenge of this work right now? Who can know what exactly the person is going to fill in? Who can be able to tell us the gap the person is trying to, or the researcher is going to fill in now? You can open your mic and tell us.
Okay, so a scalable method to independently tailor these properties in a single processing step.
Okay, yes. So it means that even though they have done, they have not been able to find, they have not been able to find a way where two things can be found in one. When one is going, the other one is losing. When mechanical property is going high, the absorption properties is coming down. So the person has found is that why he's going to find a way to do it to be found in one material. And that's what the person has worked on. And also I told you that when you are stating, you must explain some terms. If you look at it very well, the person has explained this term coupled. It says that if you read, mechanical strength and electromagnetic performance are typically coupled. If someone thinks this, what we say coupled, what does it mean? So he went further to say, meaning he explained what he or she is trying to say there. So very important, you must explain some terms when you are using, because it will be only in your field. And when anyone picks it, like, I don't know if someone understands this very well, you must explain some terms, what you are going by, or you are moving on your, you are moving on writing your introduction. So any terms that comes in, you try to give a simple explanation to it so that anyone who picks it will understand. Okay, then the next thing we said after doing that, what should we do? Are we all on the same page now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We said after identifying the gap, what should be the next thing to do?
Do the niche.
Yes, fill in the gap. Yes, you fill in the gap. You now state what you want to do. You now come out boldly to say, this is what I want to do, and this is the importance of it, or this is what it must be done. And say in that aspect, it contains a lot. It must contain your research aim, your objective, your if you have hypothesis, you must add it there. Then also you must preview or state or give a preview of how you are going to do it. So in this last paragraph of this introduction, the person has, yes, the last two paragraphs. Let's read the last two paragraphs and we see what the person has placed here. Oh, I'm sorry. Please give me a minute. Let me bring. Okay. Yes. So if you can see, anyone to read for us? Anyone to read for us? Or anyone to read for us?
The
Okay,
study
Study addresses
addresses this gap by proposing a novel data functional EPSI impregnation strategy for SLL manufactured NFG MZFO composites. We demonstrate that by adjusting only the silicon content during post-impregnation, the microwave absorption behavior can be selectively customized either towards strong local absorption or broad bandwidth while simultaneously improving mechanical integrity. This strategy effectively decouples the conventional trade-off between structural and functional performance, offering a tenable and versatile routes to design application-specific microwave absorbers. The key scientific questions the study addressed are: how does EPSI impregnation affect the microstructure and interfacial characteristics of SLS printed NFG MZFO composites? Can varying silicon content independently tailor mechanical strength and electromagnetic absorption profile? What mechanisms govern the optimized impedance matching and attenuation in these composites?
Thank you so much for reading for us.
Welcome.
Yes, so if you can see, the person is now presenting what he or she is about to do. That's the aim, the objective, and the research question. So after he has finished with all those stuff, he's now presenting the aim or the objective. So you must follow this order. When you follow this order, you will have a very good introduction. And when you present it to the journals, though, you will not have any question on your introduction, because it gives a clear view. When someone just reads your introduction, he knows that this person wants to do this, and this is the way he wants to. So he has placed the research questions there and the objectives. That is, when you see, say, yeah, this person has stated very clear here that this study addressed this gap. Where was the gap? It was stated up there. So you can see the connection. He didn't state the gap here and go all the way to go and talk about the methodology, now coming to say I have to address this gap. No. So it must follow an order. It must follow an order. So stating the gap. Now you now state what you want to do or your aim to fill in that gap. You said this study addressed this gap. Where was the gap? The gap was stated in the above paragraph. So it must follow that order and it must be connected. It must be connected. Very importantly, it must be connected. Then the last part, which we said, filling in the niche, you must talk about or preview your methodology you want to use. So if you look at the last part of it, the person has talked about the system or the way at which he's going to do to achieve his or her goal or aim. So you see that through systematic microstructure and electromagnetic and mechanical analysis, this work clarify and structure property relationship in this material, establishing a scalable fabrication approach. So he's telling you what he or she is going to take, the process or the methodology is going to use to achieve this aim or objective in the introduction. Thank you so much. Any questions so far? So that is all about the introduction. If you look at the second one, it is more of like educational paper in the introduction. I've said two of them.
Can I ask you something?
Okay, feel free.
Okay. There is also some introduction that I found that within that there is a theoretical framework or theoretical that is the showing how the study is being grounded on certain theory. So within this, all the parts that you explained, maybe I have not seen that part of the theory. So is that wrong to put theory within introduction, like to show that maybe this study to answer or to identify this gap? Also, this theory will be employed and this certain methodology, as you are saying, also to list all the strategies that you will use to answer all these gaps. So is not that part be there within introduction?
Okay, if I got your big brother Eugene, if you can mute yourself. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, if I got your question well, yes, we stated that there must be a theoretical framework. So this is also one thing we must know, each field and how you go about this introduction. So you must know the field in which you are in and understand what is needed. Yes, so after identifying the gap, this is an engineering aspect, or let's say, yes, engineering is specifically in material engineering. In this aspect, they don't use more of, to say, theoretical framework. But if you go into the economics or that of the international relations studies and the government and all that, you need theoretical framework to support what you are doing. And it is very important that in your introduction, it must be involved there. And in some part of it, it's also part of your let me say, it gives you the view of the methodology you must use. So in your stating your gap or stating how you want to achieve it, you must include that to say that this theoretical framework, or based on this theoretical framework, you'll be able to do that. I don't know if I've answered you well.
Okay, I'm getting.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other question? Or any contribution to add up to it? Okay, I can see someone has raised their hand. Yeah, Dr. Mauli, sorry. Yes, you can have the mic.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think you have answered him. His point when he I don't know his name, but TG, GT, what your area when it's economics and social science, that is where we want you to give us a theory based on which we are trying to propound whatever work you want to situate your work. So what the Lao Shi is saying here basically is engineering, but I follow the same trend. Is the key concepts are there. So that's what to add.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I can see NUGS-CHINA and Mr. Yes, you can have the mic, NUGS-CHINA, then the next person will come.
All right, thank you. And this is Bruce. I just wanted to add to the question or the answer you gave to the question. So in various fields, there are different approaches of writing the introduction, even though there's a general template. So you realize that in some journals or in some areas, they separate the literature review from the introduction. So you see that part one is introduction, where you tell the problems to be think and all that. And then the literature review is where you give your groundings for the work. So according to different themes, you separate it and then try to talk about what kind of the literature backs what. So the first part, the second part, the third part, the fourth part, all trying to elaborate on what is going on. And in a way, you are trying to also give the gap. So what theoretical findings are already there, or whatever literature is there that supports it. But in other fields like engineering, most of the times we mix the two. So as you are writing the introduction, you are also stating the gap and you are giving the background and everything supported by literature. So it's like our theoretical framework is within the introduction, but we don't state it like it's a theoretical foundation. Of course, whatever we are saying as a problem or as the gap is being supported by a certain literature, which may be the theoretical foundation. It's not always like that. So that's where the difference is. So whatever you read in that paper is correct. It's just because it's a different field. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for adding that to it. I'm so much grateful. Wow. Yes. Yes, I've seen UG to have raised his hand. Are you still there, or your question has been answered already?
Yeah, I'm still there.
I'm still here.
Okay, so Eugene iPhone, you can talk to us.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Eugene. Thank you very, very much. I want to ask a question. The question is, you see, you said you said in there this one that you have to identify a gap, especially when you are making a research. You can identify a gap and then you work towards that, right? So I'm asking that. I don't know how to put the question, but let's say I have one particular work that I'm doing, right? And then there is a paper or someone has already worked on something like that, very similar, but his work was not the practical aspect of it. The experiment was not conducted in an experimental field. It was kind of like a lab work. So he created a mini setup for his experiment, but I want to make a real experiment on a vehicle for that. So I'm asking that in the case of writing the introduction, you see, he has already, he has laid the foundations already. It's almost similar. It's almost the same. So can I pick his references directly and then, I don't know, if you are writing the introduction, can you just pick some things from his work directly and then kind of like rephrase or something and do like you used to write your introduction? I don't know if my question is clear.
I'll try to see if I understood you well. Then that's a very good question to ask. Thank you. If I understood you very well, you are trying to say yes. Always, there's one thing one of my professors used to tell us that there's nothing new in academia or in the field of research. One way or the other, someone has done something and you are now trying to add up knowledge or try to add it to it so that it will become full in a whole. So there's no whole thing and there's nothing which has not been done yet. Yes, he has done it. I would advise you that you don't just copy and paste what is there, but you can summarize or paraphrase it and reference it. Don't just paraphrase it and put it there, but you must reference that work to say, this person has done this, but he only did it in a lab form, which has not been done in a practical way. So you are now coming to do it in a practical way. And that would be the difference between the work which has been done in a lab and your own. I don't know if I've answered you, but you must reference that person, says that this person has done it.
Thank you very much. But I think let me clarify. Let me clarify this. Yes. Okay. Thank you. I think that is when you are just making your work known. So I'm trying to say in the introduction where you kind of like do the literature review. All right. In his work, he has already done. Please, can I be heard? Okay, he has already done the literature review, right? Yeah. So he made references to some other people's work. So let's say, for example, he said reference 6 used maybe this process to do this and achieve this result. So I'm asking that in my case, if I'm also doing an introduction, can I pick that same reference?
Yes.
Then what he has said, I would reference what he has said.
Oh, okay. I got it now. Yes,
yeah. So that's what I wanted to.
Yes, you can do that. That's one way to be able to get your review done so quick. Because if someone has referenced something, that means that that work which the person has referenced may have similar to what you want to do. So it helps you to find your review so quick because you now know that, okay, this is also here, this is also here. So one way to do your literature review is to look at the reference of the paper you are also reading now or reviewing now. That's a smart way to do your literature review. So if I'm reading this person on which has done this, as you are saying, in a lab, and he has referenced something, it's an advantage to me because I won't go around looking for reference again because I can easily locate that references and look at what they have also done and bring it into my way. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Bruce.
Yes, I just wanted to add. Sorry, the name is confusing. Yes. So let's say there are 10 references, right? In his work, he said that so and so number one, so and so number two did this, but there is a gap. However, we cannot do this work because of certain issues. So I am doing it at the miniature level or at the lab level. That's his story. That's how he sold his story. But you are coming in that even though Lab et al. Have done this, there is a need for a scale up, which is where you come in. So you continue the story from where he stopped. So virtually everything he said, you are just going to reiterate it in your own words. And then wherever he stopped, he gave the advantage that we need to do it in a major level. Okay, fine. initial level, but you have the resources to scale up, which is more important and practical. And then you can diversify the whole story with other literature that shows the importance of why you need to scale up. So if he has 10, you should have like 15. The first 10, yes, you are directly going to copy his references, but in your own words, you try and rewrite what he said. And then you state that, okay, there's a need for scale up. Why is there a need for scale up? Then you reference another set of references, maybe 5 of them, that back why you need to scale up.
Yeah,
But that
thanks.
theoretical foundation has already been given. That story has been given by his 10 references, and you are adding that 5. So if someone sees the introduction of the 2 of you, will not say that you copied each other. Yours is an extension, and there's extra references that back why you are scaling up to that car level. I don't know if that helps.
Yes. Thank you so much, Doc, for that contribution. Yes, that was a powerful contribution. Yes. So as we have heard, yes, and also you don't copy verbatim. You don't just copy and paste that. Please, if not, so that will become a plagiarism. So be conscious of that as well. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, now we'll move on to the next step, which is the methodology. Then I'm sure only today we'll be able to do only 2 of them. Maybe another day we'll continue. Okay, so the method. But before we go to the method, let me ask again, any question? I think we have answered most questions now. So let's go to the next one, which is the method. Yes, the methodology. I've sent 2 files in the WeChat group. The second file is for your assignment. You have to read it, find the broader context, the gap, and how the person has filled in that niche or the gap. Yeah, so the second file is for your assignment. Okay, so the methodology, what did you find? Or no, sorry, I've gone too far. Oh, I'm sorry. You go back. Oh, please, I'm coming just a minute. Let me be able to find my PPT. Oh. Okay, so it's here now. The method, what was done? What was it, or how was it done? Sorry, how was it done? How did you do the work? Now you have your introduction done. You have state how you are going to achieve it. You have state what you are going to do to be able to fill in that gap. How did you do it? It's a very important question. And this one falls under the method or the methodology you are going to use. So in this aspect, we said that it's like you are going to write a manual for someone, that the person picks the manual, he's able to pick that manual or your method and be able to do it again. So keep that in mind, that when you're writing a method, it must be like a manual that anyone who picks it in your field will be able to do it, Very important. So the first thing, or which must be included, so this also varies from the field in which you are finding. If you are going to use a questionnaire or you are going to use an interview form or any other thing, then you must state your participants. You must state them clearly to say, okay, this group of people. So your sample size, the demographic, the location, the criteria you use to select the people or those who are participating in your research. What criteria did you use? And also, have there be any incentive to them? You must also state this clearly to the people, so that when someone picks, you will know that, okay, if I'm going to do this or I'm going to replicate this person's work, I must follow the same thing. So it's a manual. Everything must be clearly stated. If you are in the engineering field, like other people, you must state the materials you use or any other thing which is involved. You must state it. You must state it clearly. If the equipment you use, whatever has been involved in it, if you must state them, and the procedure you use for the experiment. From here, where did you go? After moving from A to B, you went to C, or you jumped to D, or you jumped to Z, and you came back to I. You must state them. It must be in order, step-by-step protocol, in order. It must follow an order. and the time which you use in doing that, it must also be stated. Then also, you must also, some field, they will need you to bring ethics. You must state the ethics you use. You must state that. And also, the last thing, which is very important, is that you must include the kind of analysis you are going to use. Are you going to use SPSS to run them? Are you going to use R? Are you going to use Python? Are you going to use any of these things? You must state it and say, are you going to do regression? Are you going to do just descriptive statistics or anything? You must state what you are doing. Or are you going to do a same picture? Are you going to do electromagnetic property test? You must state what you are doing. Like, you must state all the analysis you are going to do. It must be stated in the methodology. It must be clear enough that when someone picks it, he knows that when he moves, or he or she moves from this place, is going to the next step. Basically, the methodology, this is how it is done. And I advise that that is prepared by yourself. So if you are writing a paper, this is the advice I'll give you. That is the first part of the paper you can easily write without any stress, because that one, you are doing it by yourself. And one thing I also know, that the methodology is one of the difficult parts to execute in when you are coming to do your paper, because so you can easily write that part first, because you know what you're coming to do. You already have it in your hands that this. So it's easily to write that part first. So what are the checklists, quick checklists? Could another person replicate this? If you are writing your methodology, that's the question you must be asking yourself. Can someone do this? Can someone pick this thing and be able to do it? The next thing is that, is all the material specified? Have I been able to specify the material, or have I been able to talk about the participants which are involved in this thing? What procedure did I use? It should be in order form. You don't mix them up. They must follow an order. Have I been able to justify the statistics I'm going to use, or the analysis I'm going to use? Have there be any ethical approval or document which I must include if you have seek for approval? Because one of the things we learned that research, before research is being executed, you must write a proposal. Have we seek approval? The proposal is to seek approval. Have we seek approval from somewhere? And if there's an approval from a group of people, you must include to say, okay, I seek approval from here. That is when this works. Or any fund, you must include that in that aspect. And also, your tense you use must be past tense. It will not be present or continue. It must be past, because you have done it already. You are reporting on it. It should be in a report form. Yes, I think basically in the methodology, these are the key things which must be covered in it. Any question? Then I will show one work with the methodology, the one we are looking at now. Then we'll look at all these things in it, and we'll continue. And I think we will bring our class to an end today.
Can I ask?
Okay.
I would like to ask you that if you are writing a paper and then you finish the introduction, you finish the literature review, but not yet the correct data. So can you proceed to methodology parts when you have not yet collected the data, like on the part of participants, you don't know how many participants are you going to use based to the data that you have collected? Yes, the questionnaire is there already prepared, but can you continue drafting the parts of methods or methodology while the data have not yet been collected? I need your advice from there.
Okay, thank you so much for that good question. That's a very good question. Yes, I will say that yes, before you even issue out your questionnaire, or before you even prepare your questionnaire, you should know the number of samples you are gathering. That's one thing I want to say to you. You should know the number of people you are going to use or to involve in your work. So you must know that. So your methodology can be written even before the work you go into your introduction, or you can write your methodology down. As soon as you know you find a gap, you know you must, because before you start, you must know the number of participants you are going to involve in the work. You must know the specific location you are going to use. You must also know that this criteria I'm going to use to select the people. Because you can't say I'm going to use, you can't say I'm just going to share it anyhow. If you're going to share it, it's a way of sharing it. So is it a random, or is it you are specifying some specific group of people? So all this, you will know them already before you start issuing your questionnaire. Because if you don't know them, then how are you going to issue your questionnaires? It's just like I'm going to cook jollof, and I don't know the process of cooking jollof. How will I cook the jollof? Or I don't know the ingredients involved in cooking jollof. that means I won't be able to cook the jollof. So your methodology, you already know what is involved. You know that I'll bring the rice, I'll get the oil, I'll get the tomatoes, I'll get this, and I'll get all these things. You already know them. So you can easily write your methodology before even going out to issue. If there's any change in it, then you just have to come and adjust it. Yeah, I don't know if I've answered you all, but yeah, thank you. Yes, you said okay, so it means yes. Okay. Yes, Dr. Bruce, yes.
Okay, thank you. I think you've answered his question well, but I want to raise something else that he mentioned. Hey, it's very confusing sometimes when you are going to write your paper and you are forced to write the introduction first. It's something that is not efficient. I'll not say it's wrong. It's not efficient because at the end of the day, what are you writing? Okay, so we can start our paper right from the literature review, right? You've got your literature, you've seen the gap, and then you design a methodology. Part of the methodology would be that you have the research design. That is how you are going to do the work. But another part will also tell us in terms of the specifics, the participant, everything and all that. You can hold on to that part. Like you said, you've done the questionnaire and everything. That's the research design part. You can write that part of methodology and then still go ahead and then disseminate the information. After that, you have your say, okay, I'm targeting 100 participants, right? And then, of course, maybe sometimes you get lower or more than that. Then you can quickly go and write that part, or you can put just an undefined number there in the beginning. You can change it. So after literature, you've written your methodology, then you can discuss the results, right? Before you finish everything and come to the introduction. Introduction is not the first thing to be written, as although we sometimes introduce it first as the first part of the paper. It's usually one of the last parts you should write if you want to be really efficient in your writing. And then, of course, then the last part of the work will be the abstract. So it's not like it should follow in that order. I just wanted to iterate that.
Okay, thank you so much for adding that to it. I saw Dr. Mauli's hands towards up. Yes.
I think Dr. Bruce has actually said that. But just to add that what we are seeing, the format.
Please, your voice is a bit down. Can you raise up your voice a little for us to hear?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm saying that although Dr. Cruz has answered that, but I just want to add that what we are saying is a format to follow. But practically, we don't write the introduction first, because you write the introduction, you go back and what the data is telling you from what you have the introduction, some of problem. So you start from the methodology, and methodology you can start writing some like study area, sampling technique that you're going to use. Then before you can take the data, then you start with all other aspects. So you can do something about the methodology whilst you have your questionnaire ready, but you've not gone to take the data. Just to add that. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all the contribution. That was powerful. So as it has been said already, yes. So it's a gateway for you to start. It doesn't mean you should start all the way from the introduction because it's following that order. Yes. So as I said, I would advise you start with the methodology because you already know what you are going to do, so you can easily pin down that down. Okay. So any other question so that we can look at the sample I have here? Then we'll call it a day for today, and maybe on Tuesday we'll continue with the rest of the structure. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. This is still in the engineering aspect. So if you look at this very well, the person has, this is the person's methodology. The person, he or she has stated the material. He said the materials for the study. The person was very specific. He said experimental details. So that's the methodology. It must be detailed enough. So as you can see, you have stated all the materials involved. All the materials the person is going to use, you have stated them here in this first material for the study and where they are going to get them from. So that if this paper is published out there and our facilitator, Bruce, pick it, he can know that if I go to this location, I go to this place, and I get this material or this sample, I'll be able to replicate the same thing this person is doing. So it's very important. It is in detail. It's a pure 99.5 carbon purity was obtained from the graphic company. He has stated a company where he or she has gotten it from. So very important. If you're using materials, you must state them into details. You must state. So that comes to the other people who are doing you are using questionnaire or other stuff. You must also state where you are getting your sample from or the location. Okay, yes, Dr. Irene, you can speak. Your hands are up. Irene has someone.
Did you share this one in a group?
Not yet, but I'll share it too. I'll share the two part of it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay, so after that, the person went ahead to state the fabrication or the process in which he or she has gone through the research or the process at which he has used to do what he or she is doing. So if you pay close attention to it, I would like someone to read for us. Let me send this down there. Yes, anyone to read for us? Okay, yes, Dr. Irene, you can read.
Okay. Please, it's far, so I cannot see. Can you increase your this thing a bit so that? Okay. Fabrication of the NFG MZFO composite materials. The NFG MZFO composites were fabrication through a multi-step process, as illustrated in Figure 1. Initially, a powered mixture of natural flex graphics, magnesium zinc ferrite oxide, and please the other word there. What is there's something I can
phenolic resin. So you can just continue reading.
Resins was blended using a Gene QM type ball mill. The name there I will not mention.
Okay.
You know that this. The mixing process lasted 4 to 6 hours at 57 minutes with zirconium grinding ball added in a 1.1, that's the ratio. Max ratio relates to the power mixture. The homogeneous powered was then sieved to ensure uniform for subsequent 3D printing. Specimens were fabricated using an HKS500 selected laser centering machine. Please, the school, I will not mention it. That the 3D, the power blend with mass ratios in table 1 was spread in 0.1 millimeters layers on the build platform. A high-powered laser selectively centered each layer with contouring performed at 8 watts, that's 100 meters per second, and filling at 16 watts, that's 100 meters per second. The power bed was.
Okay, I want you to pause there for now so that we look at something. We look at the details in this the first part of it. If you can see, the person has stated the process used in preparing the material. He talked about the equipment used, the Gene QM type ball milling, where they got it from, and also the number of hours it took for the powder to be mixed together. So 6 to 8 hours within that period, and also the speed at which the Gene QM type ball milling was running. So that's what the person to have stated. And also he has stated how the powder were mixing, the ratio at which it says 1:1. So if you look at it very well, he also talked about the machine he used in printing, the 3D printing. He clearly stated the machine they use, which is here. So if you are preparing your methodology, it must be detailed. And it also shows how the materials have been spread out or how they have been arranged. So when we go down, you see that he referred to table 1. where the details of how the materials have been mixed together. If this is, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so if this has been mixed 1-to-1, or what was the percentage of this, what was the percentage of this? So he detailed that in table 1. And the process at which they went to, he also detailed it in figure 1. So if you go further on, okay, let's continue here. You can read from here.
The current protocol involves stepwise heating from 60 degrees Celsius to 180 degrees Celsius with 15 minutes hold at 30 degrees Celsius intervals. So as Prof, if I want to ask, for this one, the person stated the process he went through in achieving the whatever you want to achieve. Where he from where he gathered, if I can recall, where he gathered the materials and everything, and how he missed to get the desirable results that maybe he wants. So that is the methodology side, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So thank you so much, Dr. Irene, for sharing that with us. I think we can now look at what is. So if you look at table 1, the person has stated how the materials do. He said he went for the NFG, he went for the MZFO, he went for the PF. So he has shown us the ratio at which each of them were added together, and he will show us how they have used. If I send this now to any of us on this platform, we can easily do this if we have everything the person has stated here, because the person has showed us in details how each thing has been done. How each of them has been done. If you look at it, the last part, he talked about how so also one thing I also advise that anytime you are doing your methodology, it's advisable to add a figure to it, to put everything you are doing in a figure form. So if you look at this, this is what the person has done. So if you read carefully, you pay close attention to that. You start from the ball milling part, the mechanical ball. You went to the selective laser century, then he went to the airing part, then he did the impregnation, which is the last part of it. So it followed that order. So when you pick it, even though you have not read it, you can know that this is the order in which the person has followed. So the figure gives a summary or a quick view to anyone who pick your paper to know what you are doing in the work. And also, these are some of the tests he did. He also show how he did each of the tests as well. That of the mechanical and the microwave properties as well. So basically, this is how the methodology must be written. Yes, then the next part is there. Any question or any contribution so far, then we'll end our class for today.
Please, I have a question.
Okay, feel free. You can ask a question. Oh, my sister, we can't hear you. It seems like your network is not. Can anyone hear?
Please, can I be heard?
Yes, you can be heard now. Loud and clear.
Okay, please, I would like to. Yeah, thank you. Please, I would like to know the design softwares used to design the figures for the methodology aspects of the papers.
Oh, okay. This will also it depends on what will I say? There are a lot of software you can use. You can use the AutoCAD. Maybe you can use SolidWorks. You can use. I will also advise that we join the class facilitator Bruce. Professor Bruce is teaching. It's very important, the advanced use of Microsoft Office, because some of the things you can also do them in PowerPoint. You can draw some of the figures in PowerPoint too as well, which is very easy. I've shared the two files with us in the methodology. The second one, the figure that was designed in PPT. You can go to the WeChat, it has been sent there. You can look at it very closely. The methodology design in that part was they use the figure used there was designed in PPT. So there are a lot of them.
Is which one?
That of the method 2E. 2E.
Okay.
Yes. So there are a lot of them. They're AutoCADs. I can't name all of them. If you know some of the, please, we are all here to help one another. So if you know any of them, the SolidWorks, which other one? Yes, just state them in the chat box so that our sister can be helped out of this. Thank you so much. Any other question? Any other question? Or no question? Please ask question. Or any contribution. Okay, let me take it from there. Any contribution to add up what we have heard so far.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay, feel free, my brother.
Okay. I'm sorry for asking this
Oh, no,
question.
it's very good.
Okay. I have understood one of our colleagues who were advising me to start from to start from literature review, which is extremely very nice, and I have understood such a logic. Why do we need to start from literature review? Even if there is other people also who say that they might wish to start from a methodology part, but for the literature review, I've understood clear why in that. So, but I would like to ask, sometimes we need the research question to guide research questions to guide or lead our writings. So I would like to know, do we get those research questions from literature reviews, or do we read literature review without having direction? So, or we get the research question before we go to read the literature review. So where do we first get those research questions, or where do we first get those hypotheses or the topic mainly? Do we first read literature reviews, and then after reading literatures, we get the topic, we get the research questions, we get or we first have a topic and research questions, then later we go to read literature review to see if what we thought before are clear and related. I need your guidance and idea from that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that good question. It was a brilliant question. I want to say that, yes, before you start everything, there must be a way out of it. And the way out of it is to read papers, because some of the papers state what should be further done in their work. So when you go part, we are looking at the structure. When you go all the way to the down part, some of them state further studies. Or yes, there's some states, they have a subtopic where they state further studies. So you will see that there is something which needs to be worked on in this work. So when you take other published work or articles or reviews, literature, you can see clearly a gap which needs to be filled in. Even though the person has done the work, you will still find out that there is a gap which needs to be worked on again. So you can find those things from other literature out there. So first you must lay hold of the literature, read them and say, okay, this person has done this. It's now saying that there's a gap here. Can I do this? Is this feasible? So one of the questions you might ask is this feasible? How do I go about doing this? And if I'm doing it, what am I solving? So when you start to ask yourself these questions, then that's where you will find your research question, your hypothesis. You will now read more to get the clear view of what you want to do. I believe I've answered you well.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I got it. Yeah.
Okay, yes, Dr. Mauli to want to say something.
Yes, you have answered him very well. But my brother, what you have to do is that you get topics are amalgamation of our objectives, our research questions. You get those things from literature that you have read and your own curiosity. You've read a particular paper and the person has said, oh, this is the weakness of his or her paper. And you were thinking to brainstorm about it. And you read other literatures and realize that, oh no, this person has done it. Okay, there is a lacking gap here. So know that your research questions are what transform to your hypothesis and transform to your objectives. There is a link. So, and all those things amalgamate topic. So if you come up with a topic and not looking for objective from it, it's like you not review enough literature on it, So literature is a first point of call when you have a curiosity about something or you want to do something. You search through what has been done, what's the existing knowledge about a particular area, what can you do to actually contribute to the society. So basically, that's what I will say. I'll add to what Johnson has said. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc, for that good contribution. Yes, so you must do the review first and fine. Someone is asking, can you give a guideline on how to review and identify a gap when you pick a research paper? Yes, so you must, it depends on the structure the person is using and also the field where you are coming from. So our advice, in the conclusion part of the article or any literature, it is, I strongly believe most of them is stated there in the conclusion part, because now the person has concluded to say, okay, I've done this, but still there's something which has not been done yet. Most of them write it in the conclusion part, or they may even have a full section for it to say further work to be done or further work, yes, just like that. So you go there, read them, you find out that there's a loop here and you pick that from there. So that is basically the guideline I will give you on that. But if any other person also have a guideline to advise our sister or our brother on that, I'll also be grateful. But take the paper, go to the conclusion part of it, look at it. They will surely state something there. Yes, and also at the latter part of the section, yes, introduction section. Yes. Thank you so much. Any other question or contribution? Yes, usually the conclusion and the last paragraph from the conclusion and the abstract. Okay, yes, Mr. Bruce, you can.
Okay, so for the gaps, it's a bit dicey depending on where you are reading from,
Yes.
because even the paper you are reading has stated a gap, but is it really a gap? That's the question you ask yourself, because maybe the next paper you download has solved that gap already. So if you continue on that route, that okay, I'm going to solve the gap that given by this paper, it may have already been solved, right? So there are different types of gaps generally that cut across all fields. So when you pick the paper, the question you ask yourself is, okay, on this particular topic, is there a gap of missing data or there's not enough data? Then you ask yourself, can I provide this gap? Because you can't also state a gap that you yourself cannot fill, right? So even though you read, is there a methodological gap? Maybe everyone is using one particular method, right? Or there's no method at all. So if I take that same topic, I can write a paper based on the methodological gap and solve that particular one. That's one paper. I can take that same topic and solve it based on a data missing gap. So there's not enough data on it, right? I can also go and then improve the method. So there are different gaps that you can do: theoretical gap, methodological gap, data gap, population gap. So let's say all the work is one population, let's say in Europe and in let's say the Americas. So you are just going to do the same thing as the paper has done, but on Africa. You see, so there are a lot of them. If you just Google them, you see all of them. The gaps are always the same, right? So you ask yourself, which of these gaps have been solved? And then you try and continue the one that has not been solved. So maybe out of the 5 main ways of, yes, someone said locational gap, geographical gap. So you ask yourself, okay, in this area, okay, somebody has solved the geographical gap. Somebody has solved the methodological gap. What can I do to add on to that? So maybe out of 5, 3 has been solved. Then you take the other 2 and then continue from there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc, for that powerful contribution, Prof. Sorry. Yes, yes, you must know where to find your gap, and depending on what you are reading or where you are picking your paper from. So there are a lot of gaps everywhere. So maybe the work is done in China, you can replicate it in Ghana or any other places. Yes, so those are some of the things you must look up. So you must be open, you must be out there to read everything, have the fair idea of what is happening here before you start to go into details. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If there's no other question, we'll be ending our class here. Let me project this before we go, so that we have an assignment for when we meet on Tuesday, coming week Tuesday, then we'll work on this. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much. Yes. My assignment, this is the assignment. If you can take a screenshot, I'll be so happy. For now, we only talked about the, yes, okay, yes, I think it does it for the two parts we talked about. So the introduction and that of the methodology. So,
Doing this? Are you doing this assignment?
yes, please. So you outline all the IRM structure, you will state them, write what has been stated in each of them, what must be included in each part of them. Then now you find a published paper or a published article or anywhere. Then you now go and find the gaps in them and the objective, the novelty, and the types of method they use in that work. Yeah, thank you so much. And it's good having all of you here. I'm so happy.
Thank you too.